Fall camp is over, and now Ole Miss has their shot at history. This is what we mean by that and why it is not hype. The Mayor of Corinth coming up next. This is the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I'm your host, Steven Willis, a 10-year veteran member of the national media with Yahoo Sports and a former Ole Miss staff member. Today, we will bring in Tom Vanderford and talk about what is going on as the season is getting ready to start. It's actually a game week, and this time next week, we will be talking about the football game that has already happened. So thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss Hot podcast your first listen. And please give us a like, subscribe, and comment on your way out, whether it's on the video side or the audio side. We would appreciate a subscribe as well. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit FanDuel's app today and start planning your futures bets now. All right, so let's bring in Tom Vanderford. Tom, it's really interesting. Fall camp's over. We are less than a week away from the Georgia State Panthers. We're going to talk about the SEC moving to a 9-game conference schedule here in just a little bit. But what are the takeaways that you have after fall camp? All the reports, all the news that came out, what is on your mind?
Well, I'm like everybody else. I'm concerned with the offensive line depth from all the reports. Just have to see how that holds up. And other than that, I just want to see us execute. I want to see us execute on defense. I think, I think you may have mentioned the same thing. I think this front seven on our defense will take us as far as we're going to go. That's going to be the strength of our football team, which is nice because we're going to have a really good offense if the line can hold out.
And I think they can. Listen, I think the offensive line stuff got overblown by a couple of people reporting what was going on, hearing second and third hand rumors at the time and just kind of running with it. And I understand that. We do the same thing because that's the only way to get news out of that program.
Yeah.
But that also causes a little bit of an avalanche. And Lane Kiffin has proven he is not going to bend to social pressure. When everybody's talking about whatever, think about whatever you want to think about. We will keep doing our own thing. I think the offensive line is going to end up being better than it was a year ago, personally.
Oh, I agree.
I like Jaden Williams at right tackle. I like Diego Pounds. They were two of our better offensive linemen at Ole Miss a year ago, and now they're both on the field at the same time.
Right, and that's a huge plus.
Yes, Patrick Kudas, hearing nothing but good things about him. The Delano Townsend thing's weird. He's probably injured, but he'll be back soon. PJ Wilkins should be on the field. Bryson Sanders. It looks like they have that first starting five pretty well figured out.
Yeah. And, I've been hearing lots of good things about the freshman from Louisiana. I think
Devin Harper.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get to play a lot this year.
Yeah, and you hear good things about Connor Halls as well, the offensive lineman out of Orlando. He's probably not going to be able to play because the way it goes, if Devin Harper gets on the field a lot, good for him. That's awesome. But even Laramie Tunsil, the best offensive lineman that Ole Miss has ever had and ever developed, took about 6 games to get developed. And he started out on the inside. On the game against Vanderbilt, the Jeff Scott run game, he was playing left guard that night.
Yeah.
He was playing, but he wasn't anywhere near a finished product.
Oh, gosh, no. I mean, to play tackle in the SEC, you just don't walk in there day one and do that.
Yeah, and Devin Harper is a tackle in the SEC. So Connor Halls thinks of himself as a tackle as well. He's playing guard out of necessity at the moment because that's the open spot. But he thinks of himself as a tackle. It's really interesting to think about this, Tom. Ole Miss has Therese Davis, the offensive lineman that transferred from Maryland, that played a whole bunch. You have PJ Wilkins, who transferred from Charlotte, who played a good bit. And then you have Delano Townsend, who transferred from UAB. Those are all guys with 3 years of eligibility left to go. You have Devin Harper, you have Connor Halls. If Ole Miss can make it through this year, there's a nice young nucleus to kind of develop and get going.
That's true, and we just got to hope that our right tackle does something he hasn't done in the last couple of years, and that's stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the good news about P.J. Wilkins and Therese Davis. They have both played tackle in college football. It's not a high school signee. I expect to see P.J. Wilkins. He was the first person that moved out right in the first scrimmage. I expect to see Wilkins kind of as he develops. I think he's the 6th offensive line as the way that John Garrison and Lane Kiffin wants to see it.
Good deal.
So when we come back, we will turn our attention to this 9-game conference schedule that the SEC talked about and released on Thursday of last week. And we'll have the mayor of Corinth, Tom Vanderford, give us his thoughts on all of that. But first, August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches, kind of like this show. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on the NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champs before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. Music to the Locked On Ole Miss podcast ears. So take a flyer on the MVP race. I am all about Jaden Daniels putting up massive numbers for the Washington Commanders. Or crown your champion in August. I like Buffalo. Maybe it's the Hard Knocks talking, but I think this is the year finally that the Buffalo Bills get it done. Or maybe you want to parlay a division winner among the dark horses. Hello, New Orleans. Hello, Miami. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra and Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you are looking for something beyond the usual pill, it is time to meet Rougiette Ready. Rougiette Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usually pills that can take hours, Rougiette's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under the tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes in some cases. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when that moment is right. If traditional options have not worked, Rougiette might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch. I love that it's completely online, and Rougiette connects you with a board-certified doctor and ships your treatment discreetly to your door. You can even read real customer reviews on their site. It's helping a lot of people feel much more confident and present in their moment. So head to rougiette.com/LockedOnCollege, all one word, and use code LockedOnCollege, all one word, to get 15% off today. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnCollege and use the promo code LockedOnCollege for $20 off. Individual results may vary with a prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under the federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, and manufacturing review. Please visit the Rougiette website for full safety information. So let's bring in Tom again. The SEC on Thursday released its 9-game conference schedule plans. And starting in 2026, the SEC will play 9 conference teams and a Power 4 team that has to be from the Big 12, the ACC, or the Big 10, or Notre Dame.
Wow.
That's really cool. That's 10 games in the SEC. I cannot imagine how smug the SEC is about to be. All the talking points of everybody else forever. Is the SEC scared? No. SEC's not scared of anything. You can have your little budget schedule, your budget stadiums, your budget college football program, but you're not going to necessarily influence the SEC. Now, the big win for all of this, in my opinion, Tom, is I think this is a step well towards the 4-4-2-2-1-3, which is actually the Big Ten's playoff model with 4 automatic bids for the SEC and the Big Ten. I think this is proving that strength of schedule is just, it needs to happen essentially, but it's not the end all be all. You're not going to have a situation with Indiana getting in against the weak sisters of the poor like they did a year ago. But I think the SEC and Ole Miss in particular has a chance to really benefit from this model.
I completely agree. It's going to help in recruiting. It'll help with television money. It's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Who do you think the the 3 permanent opponents for Ole Miss should be moving forward?
Well, I'd kind of like for them to be Arkansas State and LSU.
Okay.
But, somebody that wanted an easier schedule might say State, Vandy, and Kentucky.
But that didn't happen. That's like saying I want a unicorn. It's not going to happen.
All right. Well, and I saw today where somebody had us with State and Arkansas and A&M.
Yeah, I saw one today that was State, LSU, and South Carolina.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm getting out of this, and the way it looks to me, is there's 2 teams that are locked. And LSU and State, they're absolute mortal locks. It's going to happen. Even the people saying the fact that, oh, we shouldn't play Mississippi State anymore and something like that. No, sit down. Right. State and LSU is happening.
Yeah.
The third game gets interesting to me. And I talked to Dalen Flowers on Friday about this. And Arkansas, we're the longest played SEC team for Arkansas, and it won't be a purely Southwest Conference look where it's like Missouri and Oklahoma and Texas as their 3 rivals. There will be an SEC rival in there. Some people think LSU should be there because of the Battle of the Boot that they didn't care about whenever it was happening. But I think it will be Ole Miss. That's my opinion. So it'll be Ole Miss State, Ole Miss LSU, and Ole Miss Arkansas as the 3 major. But I can see an argument for Ole Miss and Tennessee. I legitimately can see that. You are literally like 75 miles away from Tennessee, from Oxford, Mississippi. It makes sense. Now, Tennessee's on the other side of the state, but that whole state wears orange. You have to drive through Tennessee to realize that. I think that Georgia should get a shout out as a potential permanent rival. It won't happen because Georgia has Auburn guaranteed and they have Florida guaranteed, and they would not give them Ole Miss as well. You look for somebody like Kentucky or South Carolina to end up with them. I think personally that Vandy has a real argument, and the people that are scared of scheduling and the playoffs is 100%, or maybe we need to get to 6 wins and get a bowl game, because if we don't get a bowl game, we didn't have a great season. Those people, Vanderbilt, this gives them a little bit of hope as well. I've seen A&M. I've seen Kentucky, believe it or not. I've seen South Carolina. That doesn't make any sense. The 3 that make real sense, Ole Miss, LSU, Ole Miss State, and Ole Miss Arkansas. That feels like the 3.
Right. That's my pick.
All right. What do you got going on this weekend? I know you're 12 days and a wake up away from retiring from your job. Congratulations for that, by the way. But what do you have planned this weekend, and what do you have planned for your last week and a half working?
Well, for my first weekend, of course, there's actually high school football Friday night that we're taping this Friday, or recording it Friday. So I'll be going to a high school football game. Then, of course, I'll be watching week 0 of college football this weekend. And as far as the job goes, I'm going to do as little as possible and still keep employed until my last day.
Yeah, short timers is a real thing. I remember I probably got 3 things accomplished in the last 2 months as far as work stuff when I was in the Navy.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever there's a date that you're walking out that's down the road, it's impossible to be productive. Anyway, before we get out of here, and we're going to talk to you right before the Georgia State game.
Right.
Anything you're looking for against Georgia State as the early look?
Well, I hate to sound coach speak, but I just want to see execution on both sides of the ball. I really want to check out our run game. That's going to tell me a whole lot.
Okay. Tom Vanderford joining the show. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you later, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy. Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your go-to source for Ole Miss football. We pride ourselves in offering the most perspectives comprehensively around Ole Miss, and that's why we are the front door of the university. Don't forget to subscribe to the video channel or the audio podcast, like and comment. It helps the show, and it's completely free. Your support means the world to us. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes around college football's landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Hotty toddy, everybody. And remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you later.